Right. We'll call to order this meeting of the Nettle School Corporation. I will show all members present with the exception of Mrs. Houghton and Mrs. Bloss. Are we in compliance with the open meeting law?
Yes.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First, we have approval and or correction of the regular board meeting minutes from November 12th, 2025. I have a motion.
So moved.
Cindy? Second. Mike? Any discussion or corrections? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same way. 5-0. We'll move to public comment if there's anyone that wishes to address the board. Please, Mrs. Bain.
So I am Lisa Bain and I live at 354 South Washington Street here in Hagerstown. And I asked Mr. Schaefer if I could just provide a very brief update on Act 1 because we have been overwhelmingly blessed in the last couple of weeks. We received a $500 donation from Psi Iota Xi. We didn't ask for it. They just reached out and said, we would like to support your program. We also received, again, we didn't ask for this, $1,000 from the Heart of Hagerstown. They requested to purchase the rights for Willy Wonka Jr. for us. So we are officially moving forward with that next month. And then this past weekend, we had 12 parent-student duos, I suppose, serve at the Dot Foods annual Christmas party. And in exchange for our service, Dot Foods gave us $1,500. And we didn't seek any of this out. We're getting to the point where we were going to start asking for business sponsorships and family donations. But Michaela Cranfield and I are just beyond grateful to our small community for wanting to support this program. We had our final meeting of the semester today, and that kind of wrapped up the fun fall part, and we told the students as wonderful and fabulous and laid back as first semester was. Second semester is anything but. So we hit the ground running January 6th. We start rehearsals 3 times a week for 10 weeks, and then we will be presenting Willy Wonka Jr. on March 13th and March 14th at the high school. And we will be back before then with some of our students to formally invite all of you to join us. The only question I had that I wanted to put up was, as we prepare to put out sponsorship and donor letters, is that something I need to formally request from the board permission to do, like the fundraiser form we did in the summer?
If you just send it to me, I can take care of that.
Okay.
Not all of them need official board approval,
Okay.
but approval from my office.
Okay, we just wanted to make sure before we got started on those. So I had one final thing. We have our parent info and student call out meeting on Monday, December 15th, for anyone interested in being a part of Willy Wonka Jr. So thank you.
Awesome, Mrs. Bain. So great up here.
Right. No one else. We'll move to financial items presented for board consideration action. First, we have consideration approval of claims, payroll, and ECAs. Payroll totaling $591,896.73. Claims totaling $428,592.20. HES ECA, junior senior high ECA totaling $46,121.68. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Okay. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those same way. 5-0. Move to review of monthly financial statements.
Okay, we are getting to the end of that 2025 budget. And so it's crunch time in a lot of different ways, but just an overview of the financial snapshot. January 1 to 11/30, and then also splitting out November revenue and expenses. Couple things I want to point out on this snapshot. Number one, in operations, you can see that that is negative as of 11/30/25, but we will receive our normal property tax revenue for operation, and that is anticipated to be 658,000. So that will put us back in the positive before December 31. That's typical of this time of year. Also want to point out the same thing on our debt service. We have paid our December debt service payments, but we also will receive our property tax revenue for debt service, which is 566,000. That's why that fund looks a little low right now, but will be back to normal by December 31. Education cash flow, all of these were in your board packet. Operations cash flow. Debt service. Rainy day. Preschool, one thing I want to know, I know it's a little bit hard to see up on the screen right now, but you can look at this in your board packet, but just the change in voucher revenue, you can see that, you know, in the first 6 months, January to June, we were almost in the double digits every month, and we are down to $3,000 revenue from our vouchers in our preschool program, which is significantly different in November. And so just trying to anticipate, you know, what is the cause of that, looking into what is the cause of that, but anticipate what that's going to look like in 2026 and how that impacts just the operation of our preschool. Just a reminder that our preschool is 100% self-sustaining, self-funding, which means we use no dollars from tuition support from the state as far as K-12 education. It is just what we receive in families paying tuition, and then the voucher support. And so when that goes down, our revenue goes down, but just closely watching those and looking at what we can do in the future for that. But just wanted to note that. Lunch fund, wanted to point out in the lunch expenses, we did not process November lunch expenses, so that's why that column in the expenditures all says 0. We had expenditures, so we will see those November and December expenditures in our December column. And then on the investment report, I just want to point out that one of our CDs is maturing on actually yesterday. So Amber and I have been working on, you know, kind of what we are doing with that. That CD is part of our GO bond for 2023, which is our bus replacement. We will have a new minibus and a new full-size bus delivered as early as next week. And so we will actually be pulling money out of that CD to pay for the mini and the regular bus. And then it's likely, because our other CD for that has our transportation 2023 GO bonds in it does not mature until April 10th of 2026, we will probably take out 170,000, which is about the cost of a bus, or at least what we want to keep. and place that back in, not in a CD, but in our, so that we have the cash if we get a bus delivered before April, when that next CD matures. When we order buses, they give us a tentative delivery date, but that is very, very fluid. It depends on when the bus is received at, when it's off of production, when it is received to Curlin, our bus vendor. They have to go through some things and before they deliver it to us. And so I just want to make sure that we have the cash on hand, and it's not tied up in a CD when that next bus becomes available. So just kind of an FYI on that. On the investment. And then just to point out on the grant sheet, we have finally officially received our high ability funds for the 25-26 school year. We've added that just over 25,000. So you can kind of see just the impact that grant funding has on what we are able to do in our school and with our teachers and our students. Our high ability, we are already going to use some of those dollars. We were already planning to send Mrs. Tinkle, our director of learning, and Mrs. Chu, our master teacher at our elementary school, to the high ability conference next week. And because those funds, our additional funds became available, we're actually going to be able to send 6 teachers, some from the elementary and some from the junior, senior high school, to the high ability conference next week as well. So that's really exciting that those funds became available and we can do that. I would answer any questions that you have on financial items.
Back on the preschool.
Mm-hmm.
The 25-26 unpaid tuition amount.
Yes.
Is that accrued to date, or is that accounting for the full year tuition people are still maybe making payments on?
25-26 is going to be August 7th, whatever our first day of school was this year to date. If families are making payments, that is, we account for that. But that is simply that 14,000 has been billed, but has not yet been paid to date.
So that doesn't account for any tuition charges for the
from prior years.
Well, for the rest of the school year, that's just
No, that's just to date. What has been billed? Yes, good question. That is a challenging piece, and you know, it's challenging, especially when we're self-sustaining. And so we're continuing to work on that. We try to collect as much payment from parents as we can. We try to have multiple conversations with them. We try to help them set up at least a payment plan and pay something as opposed to nothing before we send or turn over to collections as well. Eventually, like some of that previous debt, that all has been sent to collections. If collections gets some of that, we get a portion, they keep a portion. So it's more beneficial for us to work on receiving those funds before we send to collections, but it is a challenge.
That's kind of why I was asking, because looks like pretty steadily the previous years were $5,000 ish going to collections. It was unpaid and we're already at 15. Do we expect, like, are people coming back later and actually paying that before we send to collections, or do we expect this year to be like 30 if we stay on track with what we're tracking to?
Yeah, no, I don't anticipate we're at 30. We typically have families that come back and they will pay something. We will get a portion of that. I do think here in November and December, we have seen an influx of not making those monthly payments. I think there's a lot of reasons for that. The holidays, SNAP benefits and just challenging times right now. We have seen an influx in just those 2 months compared to August, September, and October. So I'll be interested to see maybe what February and March bring and if we can close some of that gap.
Have you had any families withdraw their children because they were concerned with their payments or their ability to make payments?
Not to my knowledge, withdraw. Now, we do, when families reach a certain point on not making payment, we do remove access to the all-day care. So they can still attend preschool because that's beneficial to the child and that's beneficial to us as a school when we think about them entering into kindergarten and just building their foundation. But we do remove access to the remainder outside of the preschool day, the all-day care, if they get too far behind on payments.
Any other questions or discussion? Well, we'll move to school news.
All right, we'll turn it over to Mrs. Locke first.
We, our PTO, just recently had a holiday shop, December the 1st and 5th, which was very successful. Kids were able to come in and shop their little hearts out to, to be able to get gifts for their family members. Kids were really excited about that. So that was very successful. We had a food drive, which was the old familiar Slinky Snake came back. And we had approximately 1,450 items that were donated. We are now housing those items and we have a room. It's a storage room that we keep the food, and the food will be accessible to any students that need it. CIS will be able to use it for kiddos, especially the weekend backpacks that can be used for that. So that's going to be very, I think, very helpful for some of our kids who need it. In that room also, we have clothing, shoes, any kind of thing that a student might need. So we're really excited about that room and building that entry up. Our kindergarten through second holiday program is coming up on December 17th at 6 p.m. Excited about that. And then the other holiday program is going to be within in our building is going to be 3rd through the 4th, and that will be on December 18th. Final thing I would just say is that the end of our 9 weeks is December the 19th, and our report cards will go on January 10th.
Awesome. Thank you, Mrs. Locke. Mr. McCaslin.
A lot of events going on, prepping for finals. Kids are getting ready for that. Teachers are getting ready for that. I've had to switch it a little bit with the snow day, but everybody's pretty easy with that, so that was good. Brady Farmer, one of our staff member of the month for last month. So we opened that to any member of our staff, and Brandy teaches our ISS, does a really good job with our in-school suspension students, but also builds a lot of relationships with other kids in the building. So she won that. Again, that's nominated by students, and she was receiving a lot of nominations for that. Our National Honor Society adopted a family for Christmas. That's a student-led thing, and they've really taken ownership in that, and that's good to see. They've also held a blood drive. They attended the Veterans Fair and worked with somebody at the Veterans Fair that liked our students so well that they'd like to be a substitute because of our students. So cool. Our nurse sports are off to a great start. We've seen a great improvement with the girls basketball program. Our swimming and diving doing a great job. Boys basketball is off to a great start. Girls and boys wrestling is doing a great job. Our boys just won the Hagerstown Invitation. So that was really good to see. Isaac Schmitz, a three-sport athlete for us, just was nominated as one of 24 student athletes in the state of Indiana as a Colts academic honorable member. So he'll get nominated. There'll be a banquet, things like that. And that was one of 24 athletes across the entire state that was chosen for that. So we're really excited for him on that. Just looking to finish up a great first semester.
Awesome. Thank you. We have a lot from the district, so just hang tight with me a little bit. It's been a busy month. First of all, Mrs. Jamie Claywell, our assistant principal at the junior senior high school, had an opportunity to visit with Dr. Josh Barnett, who is the CEO of the National Institute for Excellence in Teaching, as part of their listening and learning tour across the United States. As I have shared before, Mrs. Claywell is a 25-26 fellow, and as part of her work, she shared how the program is positively influencing her school and our district at Nettle Creek. Mrs. Claywell shared that Hagerstown Junior Senior High School is ahead of the state on all I-Learn checkpoint assessments in math and ELA for 7th and 8th grade. This is a result of the strong work of the instructional leadership team at the high school, led by Mr. McCaslin, and the teachers' learning and professional development each week. Mrs. Claywell also led a strength-based training to kick off our work as a district's leadership team this year as a result of her fellows' work. So just an exciting opportunity for her. We are excited to have communities and schools back in our buildings as of last week. Mrs. Sydney Lieberman is our site coordinator at the elementary, and Mrs. Sam Steinberg at the junior senior high school. Both spent the beginning of last week in training with CIS and then joined our building by the end of last week. Both have already hit the ground running and have been meeting with students and providing support. So I think everybody is just generally excited to have not only CIS back in our schools, but two very familiar faces within our school corporation in those roles. Mrs. Julie Arnold, one of our high school school counselors, recently presented at the Indiana School Counseling Association conference. Her session was titled "How One School Uses Data to Create a Culture of Unrivaled Support." This is a testament to the high quality and data informed work that she leads. Just awesome to see her grow and share such knowledge that she has. She is such an asset to our junior senior high school in leading that conference. And I love this picture to the right, because if you know Julie Arnold, you know that she's typically leading the charge and telling people what's going on. So it's just awesome to see that. Glad to have her representing Nettle Creek schools at that conference. Also, congratulations to our high school competition cheerleading team. They recently qualified for the UCA National Cheer Competition in Walt Disney World at the end of January. This is the first time that HHS Cheer has received a national bid. I firsthand can tell you what an amazing experience they're going to have in just competing at the national level. And so they are hardworking on fundraising for that trip cost. If you would like to make a donation towards that trip, you can drop it off at the admin office or see one of the cheerleaders. But we're really excited for their qualification and just that experience that they will get. Our kindergarten students wrapped up a couple of weeks ago their farm animal unit with an unforgettable and engaging experience. Thanks to two of our own, Kessler Ward brought in two of his cattle, and Melanie Wilson brought in a sweet lamb for classmates to meet. Our young farmers shared how caring for animals helps teach them valuable life lessons such as responsibility, patience, and teamwork. It was a memorable day just to see the smiles on our kindergarten faces, not only the kids who have not been exposed to farm animals like this, but also to Melanie and Kessler for getting to share about what they do every day with their livestock. So it was really exciting and a fun thing to visit that day as well. There have been numerous articles lately informing the public of the impacts on property tax reforms to public education. I just always give a plug and encourage all of our community stakeholders to become informed on the impacts to local schools and to other local entities such as our police department, our fire department, and libraries and such. So encouraging community members to become informed. Earlier this week, Mrs. Tinkle, Mr. McCaslin, and Mrs. Claywell attended an AI summit hosted by educational service centers around the state. I have set a follow-up meeting with them next week to debrief and start to make plans for next steps in the AI world for Nettle Creek schools. Winter weather is here, if you haven't noticed, and I'm worried that winter weather may be a little different than what we have seen in the past couple of years, but it can sometimes disrupt the school day. I've had a lot of questions on how do we make decisions, who makes decisions, those kinds of things, and so just sharing a little bit about how we make those decisions. First and foremost, the safety of our staff, students, and families are always of utmost importance. For this reason, we take these cancellations and weather calls very seriously. Making the call to delay or cancel can be tricky and oftentimes difficult to please everyone because everybody has different expectations. Conditions also change by the minute, and leaders have to make decisions by certain times as well. We also are a little bit unique because we serve students in 3 counties, Wayne County, Henry County, and part of Randolph County. And so just working with 3 different county road departments on road clearing, there are different protocols that they have and different expectations. So typically our process when we anticipate weather by 4:30 in the morning, our corporation staff drive roads to start assessing road conditions. By 5 a.m., communication with county officials and other surrounding school corporations starts to occur. Between 5:30 and 6, corporation communication goes out via text, call, social media, our news stations, and our radio stations for a delay or cancellation. We really, by 6 o'clock, we have to have that decision made. Anything after 6 o'clock, it's too late for families, it's too late for our bus drivers, and our transportation department. So that initial decision has to be made by at latest 6 o'clock. I think that the earlier we can let our families know, the more time it allows them to plan. And then between 6 and 8, if we would delay, we continue to monitor the weather and road conditions. And if we would need to move to a cancellation, having that call by 8 a.m. If we start receiving weather that can impact road conditions the night before, like we have already this year, we really try to get out and drive from about 6 to 8 in the evening, just determine if a call is necessary to be made that evening. Again, trying to keep our families in mind and allowing them to have enough time to make changes in their schedule as well, because not everybody has quick childcare options when you have littles at home and parents have to be at work and we need somebody to watch them. I know that we have also a lot of student drivers on the road who may not have experience in driving in the altered conditions. I think it's important to remind our community that ultimately, if a parent doesn't feel that road conditions are safe for their student driver, that is their decision that they get to make. Just because we are going to school on a delay doesn't always necessarily mean that maybe our student drivers with some inexperience should be out on the roads. And so we encourage our parents to just keep that in mind. And just communication is key, as always. We understand as a school that it creates challenges for everybody, including us, just from an operational standpoint, but just communication is key. In other news, in 7 weeks, we've sent home 244 backpacks of food with students for the weekend. It's an average of 34 per week, and it costs about $20 per backpack. So you're looking at roughly just under $5,000 that we have received in community donations to help make that happen. With the support of our amazing teachers and staff, Greens Fork Methodist Church, Shop with a Cop, AMVETS of Greensfork, a local sorority, the trustee's office, and the Congregational Christian Church. We were also able to support 57 students with Christmas assistance. Our community support in November and December has been exceptional. We live in a wonderful community. I've had other superintendents say, how are you doing all of this? And our community allows us to meet the needs of our students. It's not like that in every community. And I am so thankful just for all of the support, everyone who's willing to pitch in. We had Christmas assistance people who we had on a waiting list if we had further needs. And it feels so good to know that just the extra things our kids aren't going to have to worry about. And so just thank you to the community for both of those things and being willing to pitch in and help. Our FFA was given Toby Oler's amazing plant collection, and they have generously shared with all Nettle Creek staff. FFA students have offered to care for these plants in teachers' rooms as well. It's wonderful to see so many plants throughout each of our classrooms, offices, and other spaces. They are certainly bringing staff and students a lot of joy. We're just very thankful to the Oler family for sharing Toby's amazing hobby with us. There's a few of those. Dr. Herr is heading this up, but she has allowed us to come pick out a few, and I think I spent 10 minutes in my office. She's also shared an app that you can identify the plants, and it gives you reminders to water the plants because Emily Schaefer, even though it's a succulent, I can kill one of those, okay? So she's got me hooked up. We're going to do a better job. And so now I have 3 of them in my office, and it's really awesome. And just really appreciate the Oler family of continuing to share Toby's hobby and love of plants with our school community. It's really awesome. Kudos to Mrs. Tinkle and our Discovery preschool team. They were recently renewed as a Pass to Quality 3 provider, and they're going to inquire about a level 4 requirement, so that's exciting. Mrs. Tinkle also recently has been working on COGAT testing in 6th grade last week and 2nd grade this week. This is a data point that we use for our high ability learners. Kindergarten assessment will occur in mid-January. And then just a reminder, students and staff will be on winter break from Monday, December 22nd through Friday, January 2nd. That's all I have at the district level.
Thank you. Move to board members. Start down here today. Mr. Bain.
Nothing from me.
Scott.
I do. I have a little bit of legislative update. I think everybody knows that the General Assembly opened their session early after request from Governor Braun, mostly to consider the redistricting efforts. The House did pass that. The Senate is considering. They had their 2nd reading today. They will have a 3rd reading and a vote tomorrow. Not really sure how this is going to impact schools or education in Indiana. We just don't really know enough yet about what this is going to look like. That bill, by the way, is 1035, if you're looking to track bills or anything like that. Also, even though it opened early and we're in December, normally this doesn't happen until January, there are already over 100 bills that have been filed for this session already. Most of them are still in committee, just being considered. There is one in particular, bill number 78, that my understanding was sponsored by Senator Rotz. And it actually is discussing further restrictions on student cell phone usage. Has to do with possession of a cell phone on school property between opening bell and closing bell. There's a couple of options for what schools can consider. One is that they can't even have it in the building between those hours. And the other is if they do, it has to be turned over to the school corporation to hold for them for that day between the opening and closing bell. So that is in committee right now and is sponsored by our senator. So that's still coming, and that is actually Senate Bill 78. They have had one committee meeting, not planning on meeting again until January. The session right now on the calendar is scheduled to end on February 27th. Although the legal deadline is March the 14th, I believe, but they don't have anything on the calendar after February 27th right now. And I think that has to do with the early open of the session. I'm not really sure. So just keep an eye. You'll get emails from the ISBA with bill tracking, so you can kind of be aware of what's happening with education. And so if anybody has any questions, let me know. Thank you.
Sandy? Ms. Lamar?
Nope.
Do not. And I don't have anything either. No old business. We will move to personnel items presented for board consideration and action. Mr. Schaefer.
We have just a few on-call substitute teacher, an instructional assistant, an ECA volunteer, and 2 resignations for on-call substitute teachers. I would ask that you approve the personnel report as presented.
Do I have a motion? So moved. Second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Other items for board consideration, we have the second reading of board policy, new board policies and updates. We have G250 and G250R, G400, G425, G450 and 450R, G475, G500 and 500R, H200 and H200R, and H225. Do I have a motion to accept the policy? So moved. Additions and updates as presented. Cody?
Second.
Sandy? Any discussion?
I think you did address the one about the pest control.
Mhm.
Perfect.
I did, and I have already sent that to Braden to go ahead and put in our registration packet for next school year so that parents will sign off and get that.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Any other questions? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. That complete our policies.
Yay!
Round of applause.
Yeah. Unless they change anything in the short session and then
Well,
we get
we're through our
policies from that.
first
But
batch.
yes, the transition has occurred. Thank you for all of your work and effort on that. I know it's time consuming and it takes a lot and I appreciate it.
There are at least 6 more bills in committee right now that involve education.
All right, we'll move to our public hearing for the amendment to superintendent contract. Ms. Schaefer?
Yeah, I included in your board packet the proposed superintendent contracts. The terms were posted in the Western Wayne News and the Courier Times on December 3rd. The current contract runs through 2029 and it includes a built-in salary increase. Given the current physical environment, which really necessitates that we pause widespread salaries in Nettle Creek school staff this year. I am formally requesting that my compensation be adjusted back to the 24-25 contractual rate. I believe this action represents the correct decision for the equitable management of resources across the corporation. At this time, I would turn it back over to Mr. Lieberman to take public comment and then a motion, a second, and any discussion from the board and a vote for that to officially occur.
All right, we'll open it up to public comment for anyone that wishes to address the board. Is this for the actual approval of the amendment? We're doing that tonight
Yes.
as well.
Mhm.
Okay. And then I think I also need a motion and second to close the public comment portion.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that in here. All right, folks. Housekeeping here.
Oh, I'm sorry. That
That's
was
okay.
my fault on the agenda.
All right, if there's no one that wishes to address the board, I will take a motion to close the public comment portion of the meeting.
So moved.
Second. Woody? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. All right, we will move to the recommendation and approval of said amended superintendent contract for the 2025-2026 school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Mike? Any discussion? Well, I just want to take a second to recognize Mrs. Schaefer for this action. This amendment was her idea, was initiated by her as a result, as she said, of the challenging financial environment we're in and the corporation's inability this year to deliver really meaningful raises to faculty and staff. I think it just demonstrates not only her fiscal responsibility, but also her character and her dedication and commitment to Nettle Creek School Corporation. When you see everything that she does every single day, it just really epitomizes what it looks like to put the corporation first in everything you do. This is yet another example of that prioritization, and I believe it's worth calling attention to. So thank you, Ms. Schaefer.
Thank you.
I would second what he just said.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. All those in favor of accepting the amended superintendent contract, signal by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. We'll move to item E, recommendation and approval of Every Child Can Read school year and summer tutoring. Mrs. Schaefer.
Every Child Can Read Wayne County supports early childhood literacy. We know that from birth to age 5, a child learns at a quicker speed than any other point in their life. Children who start kindergarten with skills of typical development are higher and ready for a more successful education. They start ahead and stay ahead. The most important predictor of school success and high school graduation is grade level reading by the end of 3rd grade. Every Child Can Read provides books to children from birth to age 5. They distribute books to families through primary healthcare offices, offers a summer book mobile to encourage reading in the summer, and offers tutoring sessions to students in kindergarten through 3rd grade. Every Child Can Read's tutoring focuses on preparing students for the iRead and iLearn assessments. This program uses certified teachers who have a science of reading curriculum and training, provides assessment data and student attendance, all free of charge to schools and families. This is a great opportunity for Nettle Creek schools and our students. The full proposal was included in your board packet for review. I would ask that you approve this proposal and partnership as presented.
Thank you, Ms. Schaefer. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Cody. And rapid fire. Any discussion?
I have a question.
Mhm.
Is there a mechanism for them to receive or for either donations of new or used books?
I will have to ask. I will have to ask. Every Child Can Read what they do. If they do not, we will never turn down books. We, just as we have received new books at school, we take every opportunity to send books home with kids that they can build an at-home library. And so if they do not, the school would love book donations so that we can continue to send home with kids.
Mrs. Locke?
I also know that UTO, when they have there, they always like to have books, gently used books a little bit for kids who can't afford to buy anything, so that they can handle.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
And also the public one.
The public library does a great job, and I feel like we need to do a better job of like connecting our kids with it, but just sending us stuff so that information so that kids can get connected with a library card and also visit the library as well to have books. Yeah, it's a work in progress. It's not great yet, on our fault, not yours, but still continuing to do that.
I will say too, she is. This is programs to, monitoring for payments to sign for our course.
Cool.
So we're just-
Awesome.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. That completes our agenda. Items of information. Our next board meeting is January 14th next year. Here in the LGI room at 6:30. We're adjourned at 7:15.